The Saturday Swindle, Part 2. In the 4th century CE, the ancient Sabbath was supplanted by Saturday through a change in calendars. The true Sabbath of Scripture was lost. Hillel II, the priestly politician. Constantine the Great, emperor of the Roman Imperium, united pagans and Christians by exalting Sunday as a day of worship for them both. He shifted the memorial of the Savior's death from being commemorated at Passover on the biblical calendar to celebrating Easter Sunday on the Julian calendar. Constantine's son, Constantius, went one step further. He outlawed the use of the biblical calendar for Jews as well. In subsequent years, the Jews went through iron and fire. The Christian emperors forbade the Jewish computation of the calendar and did not allow the announcement of the feast days. Graetz says, the Jewish communities were left in utter doubt concerning the most important religious decisions as pertaining to their festivals. The immediate consequence was the fixation and calculation of the Hebrew calendar by Hillel II. As Constantine was the power behind an action that ultimately led to the loss of the biblical calendar for use by Christians, so another man, a Jew, was responsible for a reaction producing consequences just as far-reaching. Hillel II, the president of the Sanhedrin, adapted the annual feasts to the Julian calendar. He also transferred worship from the biblical Sabbath to the Saturday of the planetary week. Prior to the destruction of Jerusalem, the high priest had been in charge of the calendar, while the Sanhedrin, rabbinical Supreme Court, presided in Jerusalem. There was no set calendar. They would evaluate every year to determine whether it should be declared a leap year. This task fell to the president of the Sanhedrin when the priesthood was no more. Under the reign of Constantius, 337 to 362 CE, the persecutions of the Jews reached such a height that the computation of the calendar was forbidden under pain of severe punishment. In reaction to this situation, Hillel II, in 359 CE, took the extraordinary step of modifying the ancient biblical calendar that Jews and Christians might more easily coexist. Declaring the new month by observation of the new moon and the new year by the arrival of spring can only be done by the Sanhedrin. In the time of Hillel II, the last president of the Sanhedrin, the Romans prohibited this practice. Hillel II was therefore forced to institute his fixed calendar, thus in effect giving the Sanhedrin's advance approval to the calendars of all future years. With Hillel's new calendar system, distant communities would no longer have to wait for messengers from the president of the Sanhedrin to know when a new month had started. Each community would be able to determine for themselves when a new month began and when a 13th month was to be added. When Hillel II fixed the calendar, he incorporated leap years on a permanent basis. It is possible, but not provable, that this particular cycle of leap years was used and understood prior to Hillel, as it follows the 19-year Metonic cycle. Hillel based his calendar on mathematical and astronomical calculations rather than observations. This calendar, still in use, standardized the length of months and the addition of months over the course of a 19-year cycle so that the lunar calendar realigns with the solar years. Hillel declared a 13th month to be intercalated in the 3rd, 6th, 8th, 11th, 14th, 17th, and the 19th years of the 19-year cycle. But Hillel did more than make known a 19-year cycle of intercalations that was, in all probability, used all along. He also transferred the observance of the ancient Sabbath from the 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th days of the lunar month to every Saturday of the Julian months. This change necessitated another: rules of postponement. Rules of postponement are a set of regulations for controlling when the new moon can be declared. Under certain conditions, the rules of postponement delay the declaration of new moon for an additional day. These rules of postponement are: 1. The Jewish New Year, Feast of Trumpets, may not fall on Sunday, Wednesday, or Friday. 2. If the new moon, or molad, for the 7th month falls on Sunday, Wednesday, or Friday, the new moon is postponed until the following day. 3. If the molad of the 7th month in a common year occurs on Tuesday at 3 a.m. and 2:04/1080 parts or later, the new moon is postponed until Thursday. 4. In a common year following a leap year, if the molad of the 7th month occurs after 9 a.m. and 589/1080 parts on a Monday morning, new moon is postponed until Tuesday. The change of the weekly Sabbath from the lunisolar calendar to Saturday is clearly implied by the needed rules of postponement which, prior to Hillel's fixing of the calendar, had been unnecessary. According to the Jews themselves, the new moon is still, and the Sabbath originally was, dependent upon the lunar cycle. When both the Sabbath and the annual feasts are calculated on the lunisolar calendar, rules of postponement are unnecessary. It is only when the yearly feasts are calculated by one calendar and the weekly Sabbath is calculated by yet another, there are conflicts requiring rules of postponement. Without the rules of postponement, the annual feasts come into conflict with Saturday. For example, if Feast of Trumpets, new moon for the 7th month, were to fall on a Sunday, the last day of Feast of Tabernacles would fall on a Saturday. This would conflict with the traditional observance for the last day of the feast, hence the need for the first and second rules of postponement. The third rule of postponement ensures the common year in question would not be longer than 355 days. The fourth rule of postponement guarantees a common year following a leap year is not shorter than 383 days. This fixed calendar is highly regimented. There are exactly 14 different patterns that the Hebrew calendar year may take, distinguished by the length of the year and the day of the week on which Rosh Hashanah falls. Because the rules are complex, a pattern can repeat itself several times in the course of a few years and then not recur again for a long time. But the Jewish calendar is known to be extremely accurate. It does not lose or gain time as some other calendars do. This was an act of survival by Hillel II. It was made in response to the brutal persecutions of Constantine's son Constantius. With his own hand, the patriarch destroyed the last bond which united the communities dispersed throughout the Roman and Persian empires with the patriarchate. He was more concerned for the certainty of the continuance of Judaism than for the dignity of his own house, and therefore abandoned those functions for which his ancestors had been so jealous and solicitous. The members of the Sanhedrin favored this innovation. When Hillel II fixed the calendar, he effectually gave permission to the Jews to worship on Saturday for all future time. Only he, as president of the Sanhedrin, could do this. Today, over 1600 years later, the action of Constantine and its resulting reaction by Hillel II are still impacting hundreds of millions of people around the world. Because of these two men, 1. Catholics worship on Sunday in honor of the resurrection. This is in accordance with the Act of Constantine, which changed the observance from a lunisolar calculated Passover to the pagan solar calculated Easter. 2. Jews worship on Saturday because Talmudic law justifies the act of keeping one day in 7 when one does not know when the true Sabbath falls. 3. Most Protestants join with Catholics in worshiping on Sunday, the first day of the modern Gregorian week, assuming it is the day of the resurrection. 4. Saturday Sabbath-keeping Protestants worship on Saturday because it is the seventh day of the modern week, and they assume, since the Jews worship on Saturday, it must be the biblical Sabbath. 5. Muslims, likewise, honor the pagan papal Gregorian calendar keeping by going to mosque for prayers on Friday. It is not possible to find the true seventh-day Sabbath using the modern Gregorian calendar. This solar calendar is nothing more than a pagan method of time calculation. The early Julian calendar was established by pagans for pagans. It was officially adopted for ecclesiastical use at the Council of Nicaea. It was later adjusted by Jesuit astronomer Christopher Clavius at the request of Pope Gregory XIII, hence the name Gregorian calendar. Clavius confirmed the Julian calendar, and thus the Gregorian calendar that comes from it, is founded on paganism and has no connection whatsoever to the biblical calendar. In his explanation of the Gregorian calendar, Clavius admitted when the Julian calendar was accepted as the ecclesiastical calendar of the Church, the biblical calendar was rejected. The Catholic Church has never used that Jewish rite of celebrating the Passover, but always in its celebration has observed the motion of the moon and sun, and it was thus sanctified by the most ancient and most holy pontiffs of Rome, but also confirmed by the First Council of Nicaea. The most ancient and most holy pontiffs of Rome, here spoken of, refer to the pagan college of pontiffs of which Constantine, as Pontifex Maximus, was the head. Emperor Constantine desired unity. He achieved this goal through ecumenism and outlawing the use of the biblical calendar for remembering the death of Yahushua. Hillel II desired the physical survival of Judaism. He achieved his goal by compromising with paganism and modifying the biblical calendar. Constantine's action and its accompanying reaction by Hillel has led to the assumption by multitudes that Saturday is the biblical Sabbath and Sunday is the day on which the Savior was resurrected. Thus, Christians and Jews alike have calculated their worship days using pagan solar calendars, neglecting the true Sabbath of Yahweh. None who desire to worship the Creator on his holy Sabbath will calculate worship days by this abomination of desolation that dishonors Yahweh and desolates the soul. Only the lunisolar calendar of creation can pinpoint when the true Sabbath occurs. Lay aside the traditions of man. Accept only the word of Yah. And worship him by his ordained method of timekeeping.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Can I be heard? Give me a Yahoo if I can be heard. Interesting. We cooking today, baby. Interesting. Very interesting. A lot of us didn't have no idea about the fixed Saturday Sabbath and all that. Man, look. Oh, wait. But look, it's just information. Y'all heard before, look, don't shoot the messenger, but the messenger always get clapped, don't he? We always say that, don't shoot the messenger. Don't hate the messenger, hate the message. Don't shoot the messenger, but the messenger always get clapped. I see y'all in the building. Bless up, bless up. Lion of Yah, bless up. Yeshaya, my dirty South brethren. Bro, I just was thinking about you today, man. You and your family, y'all. Sending prayers of comfort. I just was thinking about you about an hour ago. You dig? My brother Print Blake, Yeshaya ben Israel. Much love, bro. And may the spirit of comfort dwell with your family, man. You understand? Real spill. BC, Yahoo, bless up. Kindred, bless up, bless up, bless up. Yahosef ben Israel. He say, what? Hold on. This is my bro right here, man. Good bro. He said, wow, that means we don't really know when the true Sabbath is. That is good info, but it will confuse new people. So much we don't really know. Absolutely. Absolutely. New people and old people, brother. You dig? I would say truth is a ladder, like it says in the gospel of the Nazarenes. It says the truth is one. Truth is with the creator, right? But he was like, it's absolute. But it's the truth has been established as a ladder with many steps. All right. So him being on the 10th rung and you being on the bottom one, right? We are not to judge one another because there's different levels to the truth. It's one truth, but it's many levels and many sides to it. So your perception and my perception would never be the same. You understand? That's another trick. We don't see everything alike. Meanwhile, who do you see everything 1,000% alike? Who? I mean, come on now. So in the end, we got to be able to be adults and talk about the text that's in question. You understand? Or any text there is. It don't matter what it is. Any book that people holding up is just high value and all that. You need to, you know, if it's outside in the public, then it's worthy to be under scrutiny. All right? The Bible is in public domain. Matter of fact, let me show y'all that. Show y'all the Bible with copyright on it. All right? And it's like that with every book. Why would that be a problem? Show y'all something real quick. All praise the creator, man. Believe that. So this is the blue letter Bible. All right, KJV. But look, a lot of people never scroll all the way down to the bottom of this sucker. Look what it say. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me go to an actual verse. Let me go to a verse. Now, a lot of us never scroll down to the bottom of this sucker, man. We go to the very beginning. Scroll down, man. All right. If it's in public domain, it's going to be up under scrutiny. There it is right here. What's at the bottom of it? Never read the fine print up. Look right at the bottom. The authorized version, or King James Version, 1611. That's when the Apocrypha was in there, right? Or 1769. That's the Protestant Reformation. The Catholics and the Protestants don't get along. All right. The authorized version, or King James Version, 1611, 1769, outside of the United Kingdom. Outside of the United Kingdom, the KJV is in the public domain. Within the United Kingdom, the rights to the KJV are vested in who? The crown. The crown. All right. For more information on this translation, see the KJV preface. I would advise all the brothers and sisters to read the beginning. You know what I mean? Of the KJV, especially the translators' letters to the readers. You need to read that. You need to know their mindset when they was translating it. They weren't up under no illusions. They weren't up under the illusions we up under today. All right, they was up under no illusions that what they were putting out was a flawless work. And you're warned about it before you even read the 1611 KJV. There's a letter from the translators to the reader. You did right there in the beginning. Most have never read it. But the KJV or the Bible is public domain. You dig? So any book is going to be up under scrutiny. That's just what it is. All right? If it's public domain, it's going to be up under scrutiny. So that's all it is, man. You dig? And a lot of people never understood that. Look at that, right at the bottom of the blue letter. It's owned by the Crown. The Crown, all right? That's the organization that studs out the Queen in England. The Crown and the Queen are two separate entities. Really, it's the Crown that's running things, but that's a whole nother topic. But the Crown, the organization that studs out the Queen, you ever heard of her wearing her crown jewels? Yet the Crown is a whole nother body or entity, a governing force over in the United Kingdom. You got the, you know what I'm saying, the Queen, and then you got the Crown. The KJV or the Bible is what? Huh? It says within the United Kingdom, the rights to the KJV are vested in the Crown. It's just what it is. All right. So we got to stop playing games and, you know, acting like sippy cup bros. Stop acting like children. All right. When it comes to understanding, we all ought to be adults. All right. If you men, be men, man up. You understand? Certain things you're going to hear may jar your spirit. No need to be getting all emotional and, you know, lip fumbling. Look into it. Nobody force you to believe anything, man. Right? Nobody can force you to believe anything. But if you're going to deal, then deal in truth. And you shouldn't be afraid to search anything. You got the spirit of truth in you, right? You worship Creator, right? All right. So you can navigate through any murky waters and still be straight. It's what it is. You understand? Because really, we the ones with the light to bring that to a world of darkness. You understand? So abundant blessings to everybody in the chat. Much love. But let's get into it. First, I want to get into. I got the camera on. My bad. I'm thinking that camera on the whole time. My bad, y'all. First, I want to get into this read. I've been reading a little taste, right? Get y'all together. Let me lip fumbling. You know, boy, you know, Granny used to make you go get that switch back in the day, boy. Or hit that backside, that deal go off. Yeah. Lip fumbling. That's a lot of these bros be lip fumbling, man. Tripping hard. You dig? I ain't author none of this, just to let y'all know. You dig? We just do a little reading and we believe we're supposed to bring these things out to our people. What is we on if we ain't gonna do that? All right. So I want to share something with y'all. Let me share something with y'all. I know I'm always looking and digging. All right. I'm always doing that. What he bringing out now? Dang. Getting on our nerves with all this information. It's all in their feelings. All right. This right here is a book, one of my books I have. Moses and the original Torah, the real character of Moses and the essential message of the Torah is by Hillel II. This book was written in like the 1960s. All right, it's by a Jewish guy. I wonder what he got to say. And I don't even think this book was $10, man. It did. So it's a lot of jewels you can get and ain't even got to, you know, break yourself. Poor righteous teachers, huh? The real scholars. Let me pull this up real quick. Make sure we turn down. I already sent out the notifications. Y'all get them likes up, them thumbs up or thumbs down. You dig? It don't matter. Get them algorithms popping. Let me look at this. All right. Bang, bang, bang. All right, we all good. The line of y'all, that boy done jumped off the board. What you talking about, man? All right, so let's work. We do these videos. We come on here and y'all want to see us sweat. All right, we ain't come on here to play. All right. If y'all ain't got this, Google it. You understand? Find it and read it. It ain't even that long. It's probably like 100 and some pages. I don't even think it's 200 pages. You can read through that in a weekend. All right, so, all right, hold on. This thing's freezing up on me sometimes. All right, there you go. You're going to trip. I'm going to have the sidebar up, Jack. All right, so first we're going to go to page 7. All right. I'm going to keep the sidebar up. Do it like a do it like a PowerPoint. You dig? All right. Oh, this right here is chapter 2, the Torah that men have rejected. All right. Now look at this. And y'all write these scriptures down because and make sure that these scriptures say what's written in this book. You did? Like he's hitting all type of scriptures. This cat is Jewish, was raised in the Torah and all that. All right. The book was written in the 1960s. All right. So let's get it, right? It says, the Torah that men had rejected. When the prophet Amos, 8th century BCE, speaking in the name of Yahweh, confronted his people with the challenging question, did you bring to me sacrifices and offerings the 40 years in the wilderness? O house of Israel. Y'all, that's Amos 5:25. Y'all that's familiar with the channel know we hit that quite a lot because creators asking a question. Was that to me? Like the whole 40 years you was in the wilderness, was the house of Israel sacrificing to the creator? Were they sacrificing to Satan or Baal or Molech or any of these makeshift deities? Look at this. Amos asked that. All right, write that down. It says right here, he was clearly expecting a negative response. He would not have uttered his challenge if it were generally held on the basis of a long-established tradition or a sacred document, that such sacrifices had in fact been offered during the 40 years of the wandering of their ancestors in the wilderness. On the contrary, Amos's rhetorical question presupposed that the people knew there had been no such sacrifices. You see? So his understanding and breakdown of Amos 5:25 is the fact that Amos is even asking the question proves that the sacrifices were not to create. And that's a hard pill to swallow because the whole time Israel is in the wilderness, that's what the modern Hebrew Israelite movement is based off of. The 40 years of error in the wilderness down to the sacrifice. And newsflash, I know you love your Torah portions. Newsflash. The sacrifices, if they're not to creator, then they went to Satan. And when you get into the description of a lot of these sacrifices, look, if you walk past that happening today, you would say, no, that's satanic. Huh? We talking about chopped off heads. We not lying. We can go right to Leviticus and show you. Offered on the altar, a chopped off ox head, a goat head. So right here is saying Amos' rhetorical question presupposed that the people knew there had been no such sacrifices. Look at this. But the Exodus narratives in the Torah or Pentateuch tell of Moses' requests of the Pharaoh for permission to lead the people of Israel out into the wilderness, a 3-day journey so that they might sacrifice unto Yahweh their God. Exodus 3:18. He also requested from the Pharaoh animals for sacrifices and burnt offerings that we may sacrifice unto Yahweh our God. Exodus 10:25. All the legal codes of the Pentateuch take the institution of sacrifices for granted. Y'all hear this? Y'all hear this? How could Amos have said what he did say unless there existed an older code or tradition, which the people associated with Moshe and the Exodus, which ignored sacrifices? Like, in other words, the prophets would not be speaking against the sacrifices if that's what Creator had intended from the beginning, if that what Moses had given. You understand? Then the prophets would not be speaking against it. The fact that the prophets are speaking against the sacrifices, several of them are, proves that the sacrifices was something that was added later on. That is not part of, you understand, the original Torah or the universal Torah that Moses taught. And Moses taught a universal truth. All right. Moses taught that light. All right. That's what he taught. Now, we're not denying you reading it in Exodus 3:18 and Exodus 10:25. A lot of brothers say, but look at this. Look at that before Mount. No, look, we're not even arguing with that. See, but we never ask ourselves, how did the Bible that we have today, how was it compiled? How was it compiled? Did Moses really write that? Do you question? Is it possible that these are traditions that were written down way later on? In other words, it's the Torah that we came out of Babylon with the same Torah that Moses wrote. If you do a little bit of studying, you'll find out, nah, it ain't. Nah, it ain't. All right, now look at this. Look at this right here. How could Amos, read it again, how could Amos have said what he did say unless there existed an older code or tradition which the people associated with Moshe in the Exodus, which ignored sacrifices? Sacrifices were, of course, widespread in all the sanctuaries of Israel and Yahudah. And Amos was fully aware of the fact. See, in other words, Amos lived and witnessed the sacrifice. Amos ain't like us today who never, you ain't never seen no animals slaughtered except on video. Most of us haven't. You see, because we don't live that type of life. You understand? And on top of that, what we call the Holy Temple in Jerusalem has been destroyed and decimated. So we haven't grown up and witnessed any of this slaughter firsthand. Amos did. Amos is Isaiah's father, according to the biblical text, right? It says right here. It says right here. Nevertheless, he dared to assert that these had no precedent in the practices of the ancestors of Israel after they left Egypt, and presumably had never been ordained. Look at this. Had never been ordained by Moses. And you mealy mouth Negroes think this is Malachi Maccabee is making this stuff up. Huh? See, regardless if any of us who y'all love to hate bring out what we bring out, the information ain't going nowhere. You still got to deal with it. You still got to deal with the questions and the holes and the contradictions, y'all. And that's in everything. That's in everything. You understand? Look at this. Amos did not attack the institution of sacrifices in his own name. Trip off that. So this wasn't opinionated. The essence of creator spoke through Amos. Someone capable of receiving his light. Hearing his voice through his ambassador angels, right? Spoke to him. So Amos didn't say this in his own name. This wasn't opinionated. Amos did not attack the institution of sacrifices in his own name. He did not just express his personal disapproval of them, nor did he announce that Yahweh now wished to have them discontinued. None of that. No opinion. The creator say discontinue. I know you've been doing it, just stop it now. Although he had previously commanded them, no. Amos categorically declared that they had never been practiced by the people of Israel through their 40 years wandering in the wilderness, with the clear implication that they had never been commanded to do so by Yahweh. Our brothers and sisters need to slow down and reread Amos 5, 25 through 27, and trip off what the book just said. Amos didn't come in his own name. He ain't come opinionated. He ain't even say, the Most High commanded them, but now you got to discontinue them. He came straight line at you. He took a beeline stance. They were never commanded. And believe it or not, that right there gets you slandered and almost killed, depending on the right person or who you talking to. Start speaking against the flesh pots and the creator ain't down with the bloodshed and the chopped off heads and the scraped livers. Start talking against that. Boy, these Hebrews be ready to kill you behind that. For showing the bloodlust, the naked demon. Look at this. If no sacrifices were offered in the wilderness, there was no need for a priesthood. Hold on. I'm going to let that sink in. These Negroes running around here calling themselves Levites and chief priests and high priests. Boy, if you don't go sit down somewhere. No sacrifices, no priesthood. Oh, man. I know that hurt. We're going to let that sink right on in. These Negroes claim, whether you believe in the 12-tribe chart or that they all over in Africa, you done put a locality on the tribe of Levi. And this book that was written in the 1960s called Moses and the Original Torah by Hillel II, he go even deeper. If no sacrifices were offered in the wilderness, there was no need for a priesthood whose function it would be to officiate at them. The biblical account of sacrifices offered at the tent meeting, Mishkan Ohel Moed, during the years of wanderings in the wilderness, must therefore be viewed as a late priestly revision, a backward projection into the past, which was intended to give Mosaic authority to the institution of sacrifices and to the Levitical or Aaronic priesthood. Would stop playing with me round here. You mean to tell me they backdating the scriptures? But we been told you that. What you think the lion pen of the scribes is all about? Huh? What you think it's all about? You got to make yourself relevant by giving it Mosaic authority. Huh? Wow. Wow. See, so that's what all your Torah portions, you're wasting your time, Jack. And to my brothers that do the Torah portions, you be doing the same exact Torah portion that the Ashkenazi Jew is doing. I'm talking about the exact lesson. Right? I can show plenty of screenshots and pictures on Saturday. Saturday morning coming up, you're going to see Messianic Israelites doing Torah portions, non-Messianic Israelites doing Torah portions, and Ashkenazi Jews doing Torah portions. But not just because they all in the Torah portions, they doing the exact same portion or the exact same lesson. Who came up with the curriculum? Certainly not the Negro. You Negroes ain't came up with no Torah portions that the Jewish Zionists are observant. Stop it. Stop it. The curriculum you follow comes strictly from the Zionists. They're deal telling you the scriptures are backdated. I'm going to read it again. If no sacrifices were offered in the wilderness, there was no need for a priesthood whose function it would be to officiate at them. The biblical account of sacrifices offered at the tent meeting, Mishkan Ohel Moed, during the years in the wilderness, during the years of wanderings in the wilderness, must therefore be viewed. Huh? There's only one other way to view this, right? If the Creator never commanded it, then what you read in Torah must therefore be viewed as a later priestly revision, a backward projection into the past, backdate, which was intended to give Mosaic authority to the institution of sacrifices to the Levitical or Aaronic priesthood, Leviticus 7:37 through 38. What are we talking about here? It ain't like we don't got the information. It ain't like we ain't got the information. It's just when certain things come out and jar your spirit, you dig, or rock your spirit, then we get really emotional. And then guess what? Our judgment get thrown off. Judgment get thrown off. Y'all, it's just information. I ain't altered none of this. This ain't none of our information. All we doing is going back over or researching what somebody else already searched out. That's it. We putting the information out. Well, what do you believe? And I believe, I don't care what you believe. That's personal as far as I'm concerned. That's my perspective now. Beliefs are personal. But trip out this, we can talk about the text all day long. Any text all day long and challenge our reasonings behind it. I'm with that. And still be your brother afterwards. Still love you afterwards. It's all good. You dig? But our people don't want to do that. We still childish. Sippy cup brews. Look at this. This same priestly expedient is responsible also for the rather strange tale that the Israelites, before their departure from Egypt, were instructed by Moses to ask of their Egyptian neighbors jewelry of silver and of gold and clothing. And Yahweh had given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians so that they let them have what they asked. Exodus 12:35-36. Without this gold, silver, and clothing, the Israelites could not, of course, have made the offerings of gold, silver, and bronze, blue and purple and scarlet stuff, and so forth for the furnishings of the tabernacle in the wilderness. Right, because the jewels they had in the wilderness was what? Offered in what? Building the tabernacle. and offering up the tabernacle. The precious metals were used as building material for the tabernacle, which was a portable temple in the wilderness. See how everything started unraveling? No sacrifices, no priesthood, no offerings. That means the Israelites didn't rob or borrow from their neighbors jewels or silver, gold, because it's that very substance that's used to rear up the tabernacle. Look at this. Deuteronomy makes no mention of the construction of a tabernacle in the wilderness. Huh? A lot of us never knew that. Deuteronomy makes no mention of the construction of a tabernacle in the wilderness. Egypt had a sacrificial system, which was undoubtedly well known to Moses and to the Israelites. So did all the peoples of antiquity. Moses would have none of it in the Torah, which he gave to his people. Do y'all hear this? Yeah, priesthoods was a common thing in the ancient world. It's common, right? Moses wouldn't have had that. Remember, Creator is separate from all that. Can't compare him to the false gods. Huh? You can't compare him to the false deities and gods. And y'all remember, this is a book called Moses and the Original Torah by Hillel II, a Jewish man, written in the 1960s. And look at some of the conclusions he came across or came to. And before I even read this book, it's a good read. You can read it in a weekend. And before I even read this book, I came to a lot of these conclusions. Like, dang, it's crazy. Right? Look at this. It says right here, Moses would have none of it in the Torah, which he had gave to his people. He rejected the entire system of sacrifices as a means of worshiping the Creator, Yahweh. This was a religious innovation of a startling and revolutionary character. The elaborate sacrificial system, which is found in the Pentateuch. Yeah. In other words, see, the Pentateuch is, and then you got the Septuagint. So we come out of Babylon with the Pentateuch, the rewriting of Torah, and it was ascribed to Moses. It wasn't what Moses had wrote, though. So I like the way the author is separating Torah from Pentateuch, which later became known as the Septuagint. You understand? Which later is what the Old Testament was translated out of, the Koine Greek. Septuagint was written in Greek. All right, the Hebrew history translated into Greek by 70 elders under Ptolemy, Philadelphia, something like that, during the Greek Hellenization of Israel. It's your oldest Old Testament in public domain. It's the Septuagint. All right, but the Septuagint, then you had the Pentateuch right before that. This is what Ezra and Nehemiah come out of Babylon with, a rewriting, a refurbished Torah that was created in Babylon. All right, look at this. This was a religious innovation of a startling and revolutionary character. All right, the elaborate sacrificial system, which is found in the Pentateuch, was undoubtedly developed later under Canaanite influence. Bag drop. What are we talking about here? Huh? Canaanite. Canaanite. Wow. Wow. So you're doing the same sacrifices the Canaanites was doing. Or at least your sacrificial system of priesthood is influenced by the Canaanites. Historically known as the Phoenicians. And that Paleo-Hebrew, my brothers, the Lashawan Kodash, my brothers, love to gloat about, that's Phoenician Hebrew. That's the language of the Canaanites that was already being spoken when Abraham got into the land. So your language, your priesthood, you mean to tell me all this is Canaanite? Good night. Good night. Good night. What are we really talking about here? The elaborate sacrificial system, which is found in the Pentateuch, was undoubtedly developed later under Canaanite influence. In some instances, the very names of the sacrifices were appropriated from them. Do y'all hear this? Even the names of them. I know. I love you too. Shout out to all the haters, job jackers, and naysayers. I know bros is spilling coffee. Bros is foaming at the mouth, cursing me. Look, man, it'll be all right. Deflate. It's just some things we got to go back over, man. That's it. All right. And it has in no way, shape, form, or fashion diminished. You understand? My worship of Creator. If anything, it has exalted it more. You understand? I can see the lies now. I'm not a puppet to these false deities and gods who have crept into the scripture through the pen of these false scribes under the inspiration of Hashatan. That's easy work. Fronting like they the Lord. I thought the scriptures told you that what? Satan's minions transform themselves into what? Angels of light. Yeah. Yeah. A false God can come in any name, in any form. That's why you got to know the character of Creator. All right. So with this book, we picking apart all these sacrifices. With this book, let alone the Bible itself. Now look at this. Look at this right here. It says, Amos knows of a Torah of Yahweh. Amos 2 and 4. He denounces the people of Yahudah for having rejected this Torah. And for not having kept the Creator's statutes. Look at that. Amos 2 and 4. Amos speaks of the Creator's Torah as well. Amos, we got Amos 5, and then now we got Amos 2. He does not specify wherein this rejection consisted and in what regard they had failed to keep the statutes. He calls attention, however, to the lies which have led them astray, after which their fathers walked. This undoubtedly was understood by his listeners to refer to the worship of other gods, to idolatrous practices. When Amos subsequently enumerates the transgressions of Israel, he is more specific. They sell the righteous for silver and the needy for a pair of shoes. They trample the head of the poor into the dust of the earth. They indulge in the indecent rites which were associated with the worship of Astarte or Ashtoreth. Amos 2, 6 through 7. The Torah of Yahweh to which Amos referred in addressing Judah, Yahudah, must certainly have included, along with the provisions for the exclusive worship of Yahweh and the prohibition of idolatry, statutes for the safeguarding of the rights of the poor, part of the Creator's Torah. Safeguarding or statutes for the safeguarding of the rights of the poor and the needy, and other matters of social justice, which are included in his indictment of Israel. You see? So how you treat your neighbor, righteousness unto your neighbor, righteousness unto others, period. Safeguarding the rights of the poor and the needy and other matters of social justice. Yeah, that's part of the Creator's Torah. The prohibition of idolatry. Yeah, no idols. Exclusive worship of Creator only. But along with that, how do you worship Creator is what? By the righteous work you do unto others. Look at this. Hosea, 8th century BCE 2. So we got Amos and Hosea, who were contemporaries of each other. Hosea, 8th century BCE 2, is aware of a Torah of Creator, which the people had transgressed, and also of a covenant which they broke, Hosea 8 and 1. He too assumed that the people knew of what he spoke. He details the nature of their transgressions. They make idols, Hosea 8 and 4, and offer sacrifices which God has not asked for, Hosea 8 and 13. There is no faithfulness or kindness and no knowledge of God in the land. There is swearing, lying, killing, stealing, and committing adultery, and murder follows murder. The people have forgotten the Torah of their God, Hosea 4 and 6. The Torah of which Hosea speaks likewise did not contain any ordinances for sacrifices. For I desire steadfast love, kased, kindness, and not sacrifice, the knowledge of God, i.e. the true worship of God, rather than burnt offerings. Hosea 6 and 6. What are we talking about? Not only is the Torah of Creator had to do with the exclusive worship of Creator, which means no idolatry. It also has to do with social justice, righteousness done unto you. What? Who? your neighbors, and anybody. Huh? And guess what? The Torah creator couldn't have what? Contained sacrifices, because what does Hosea say in Hosea 6:6? What does he say? For I desire steadfast love and not sacrifice, the knowledge of creator rather than burnt offerings. So where we going now? You got the prophets understanding that the initial instruction or initial Torah, or what, the line of light that was established with Moses and with all the righteous men that had the line of light on them from the Most High. The prophets are bearing witness to that light, letting it be known that what, in those instructions, there was never nothing about chewing on animal sandwiches and torturing animals. Huh? Look at it. What are we really talking about? I mean, how are we still arguing about this? How are we still trying to make this make sense and make it fit? Prophets are speaking against it. Where we at now? Where we at now? The Torah of which Hosea speaks was undoubtedly the same Torah which Amos quoted as his authority. Micah, another 8th century prophet, 8th century BCE, before the Common Era, does not specifically refer to a Torah of Yahweh or to a covenant. He denounces both Israel and Judah. For their idolatrous worship, Micah 1:5-7. The people desire evil. They covet fields and seize them. They oppress a man in his house. The prophets lie. The heads and rulers abhor justice and pervert all equity. They give judgment for a bribe. They love sorceries and soothsayers and images and asherim. All right. They have wearied of Yahweh, who sent them Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, and brought them out of Egypt. Micah 6:3. Micah is the first of the literary prophets to mention Moses by name, but the fact of the Exodus is central in the thought of this prophet, as it is of the Exodus is central. Okay, my bad. Read it again. It says, but the fact of the Exodus is central in the thought of his prophet, as it is of the prophets generally, especially those of the north. Micah reminds the people that Yahweh had already told them what is good and what he requires of man. Not burnt offerings or thousands of rams or rivers of oil, not human sacrifices, but to do justice and to love kindness and walk in probity with your God. Micah 6:6. We got Amos, Hosea, and Micah. What we arguing about? Micah recalls to the people what they seem to have forgotten. He is not telling them anything that they should not have known. He is clearly referring, though not by name, to a Torah, a sacred set of teachings which had come down to them from the distant past, from Moses in the time of the Exodus. Isaiah, 740 BCE. Yeah, because Isaiah is the son of Amos. Calls upon the rulers of the land, whom he stigmatizes because of their great wickedness, as rulers of Sodom and Gomorrah. Look at this. To give ear to the word of Yahweh, to the Torah of our God, Isaiah 1:10. What about this? They, as well as the people, have rejected the Torah of Yahweh of hosts, Isaiah 5:24. They are rebellious people who would not listen to the Torah of Yahweh, Isaiah 30:9. This Torah demands a different kind of worship, not sacrifices, not the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts. God does not delight in the blood of bulls or lambs or of he-goats. Incense is an abomination to God. God hates the celebration. Look at this. Of new moons and all appointed feasts, Isaiah 1:10. God wants men to cease to do evil, learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppressions, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. This is the Torah which the people had received and which they had rejected. They were not turning their backs upon any new doctrines or teachings which he, the prophet Isaiah was bringing to them. He was only the messenger who had been sent by Yahweh to admonish the people to return to the Torah of Yahweh, which had been given to their ancestors, and from which they, their descendants, had strayed. No prophet drives home the thought that there was an original Torah which did not contain any reference to sacrifices more forcibly than Jeremiah, Amos, Hosea, Micah, Jeremiah. We precept upon precepts, quoting scriptures. We got 4 prophets on deck telling you, that ain't part of the original Torah. This is a later addition. This is a backdating of the scriptures. This is a Levitical. This is a Levitical insertion, a Levitical scribe. You see why you got to know the character of Creator? Other than that, you're being played like a fiddle. You're being played like a fiddle. All right, trip about this. Here's the most unqualified assertion of all. Look at this. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, add your burnt offerings to your sacrifices and eat the flesh. For in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, I did not speak to your fathers or command them concerning burnt offerings and sacrifices. Jeremiah 7, 2 through 22, specifically 21 through 22. See, so we got a problem. We got it wasn't commanded in Egypt, and we got Amos saying, well, what you doing wasn't done in the wilderness either. You understand? That went to Molech and wasn't to the Creator. You see, so you can stop making it personal about the brothers you love to hate. Regardless if you like us or not, the prophets got a problem with the priesthood and their officiation. They are the ones that are robbing the people. The prophets got a problem with them. No, it's hard to swallow. But again, until you go into the compiling of the Bible and see, y'all, come on, we can go back to Codex Sinaiticus, 4th century, the oldest New Testament in the earth. See how I give you names? The oldest Old Testament in the earth is written in Greek, and it's called the Greek Septuagint. The oldest New Testament in the earth is written in Greek, and it's called the Codex Sinaiticus. In there, the last book of the New Testament is the Shepherd of Hermes. Before that, it's the Epistles of Barnabas. Then it's Revelations. In there, I don't even think Hosea is in there. In there, 4th Maccabees is in there. You see what I'm saying? So there's been adding to and taken away from. True about this, y'all, by those who are in authority over us. There's been many councils of men. There's been many revisions. You ain't taking away from and adding to nothing. You ain't no scribe. You ain't been given damn authority to take away from and add to. We just going over the information. You see that? Amos had declared that the sacrifices, read again. Amos had declared that the ancestors of Israel in the wilderness had not offered any sacrifices. Amos 5 and 25. Jeremiah now states categorically that Yahweh never commanded them anything concerning the sacrifices. And that was in Egypt. So we got in Egypt, it wasn't commanded, nor was it commanded in the wilderness. So when did you get it? Why is it we can look into the law or look into what we call Torah and read about the sacrifices, the offerings, the burnt offerings, the chopped head, the pulled off organs, the chopped liver, the scraped off fat, the sprinkling of the blood? We can read about these things, right? Wringing off the head of animals, chopping off the head of animals and offering them on an altar, the altar of burnt offering, as a sweet smelling aroma to the Creator. Jeremiah refers to a class of religious leaders in his day, other than priests, shepherds, rulers, and prophets. Shepherds, rulers, and prophets who were known as Tafsi HaTorah, they that handle the Torah, the guardians of the Torah, who like the others had betrayed their trust. Jeremiah 2 and 8. This would suggest not only that there was in existence a recorded Torah, but that it was entrusted to a special group of men whose task apparently it was to guard it and teach it to the people. Look at this. Last one, page 12. Moses and the original Torah by Hillel II. The people have forsaken this Torah, which Yahweh had given. This people have forsaken this Torah, which Yahweh had given them. Jeremiah 9 and 12. All the evil which had come upon them was due to the fact that they had forsaken Creator and had not kept his Torah. Jeremiah 16 and 11. Also Jeremiah 6 and 19. So if they're not keeping the Creator's Torah, whose Torah or instructions are they keeping? That means they're keeping the instructions of Satan under the, under the title of Lord, Lord God, and Lord. Yeah. Yeah, look at this. Jeremiah singles out for distinction only two figures from his people's long past, Moses and Samuel. Though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my heart would not turn this people. Jeremiah 15 and 1. Moses was their leader at the time of the Exodus, and Samuel at the time of the founding of the monarchy. Both prayed and pleaded for the people in dark and perilous hours of divine wrath. Exodus 32 and 11 through 14, 30 through 32, 1 Samuel 7, 5 through 8. Jeremiah's admiration for Samuel was undoubtedly inspired in part by the latter's attitude towards sacrifices. Though himself a priest in the sanctuary of Shiloh, and elsewhere he proclaimed, has Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. There's another prophet telling you, Creator don't want you killing nothing. Obey him. Obey him. Listen, hearken. See, the original Torah had nothing to do with death and torture and blood sacrifices, chopped liver and lamb chitlins, and loin meat. Had nothing to do with that. Nothing. You did. And even if you're going by the laws of the flesh, then you got to go by that. Because according to the laws of the flesh, they got to get handled and processed. And we see that ain't happening either. The animal sandwiches you chewing on today has not been processed how the Torah says it's supposed to be processed, because it's impossible for you to process it that way. Can't prepare it that way. If the Maccabees, sons of Mattathias, when they fled to the wilderness, they took their cattle with them. The temple was still standing and it was under attack. The altar was profaned. And that whole time, that whole war that they fought against the so-called Antiochus Epiphanes and them, that whole war was fought on herbs. That's 2 Maccabees 5, verse 26 on down. And it says because they didn't want to partake of the pollution. Essential to you even chewing on flesh is the altar, the temple, the priest, or the tabernacle and the priest, someone officiating at the altar. And if it's not done that way, it's considered offered to devils. And you look that devil up, it goes right back to a goat demon. Damn, right back to Baphomet. Dang, you look up and a chopped off goat head is offered in Leviticus, the 1st chapter. The goats, the golden calf. You see what I'm saying? Baal worship, Molech worship. That's what's been going on. It was even child sacrificing going on. You did. My brother Selah did a class right before I came on about child sacrifice. Shout out to the God. Selah Shalom. Bless up, King. You did? Samuel was telling you the Most High just wants you to obey him. The original Torah never had none of that. These are later additions to what you call the Torah. Backdated to give Mosaic authority to the Aaronic and high priesthood and the Levitical rite and ceremonies, which had Canaanite influence. It was all Canaanite. Even your language, Canaanite. See, so you got the prophets coming speaking revolution. Stop that. We against that. We against the sacrificial cult. We against the bloodshed. Shut that down. You got Messiah coming. He attacked the temple. He made a bullwhip, turned over the tables, and released who? The animals, and said, take these thence, get these out of here. Make not my father's house a what? A place of merchandise and a den of thieves. A lot of people read that story, man. Messiah made a whip. He made a bull whip. You ain't tripping. He let the animals. He freed the captives. Yeah, these animals are getting tortured today. Don't make me play no videos. Tortured. And it ain't for no temple sacrifices and ceremonies and rites, because Negroes hungry. There's a bloodlust in our people. You got a naked demon in your mouth. All right? It's just what it is. Now look at this. It says right here. It says Samuel, centuries later and under changed conditions, tried to continue the spiritual tradition of Moses. The temple in Jerusalem, Jeremiah proclaimed, would become a heap of ruins, like Shiloh, if the people persisted in ignoring the Torah which Creator had set before them, which was instructions that did not have Levitical rites and ceremonies. All your Levitical sacrifices, rites, and ceremonies are backdated. They are later editions added to the Torah. Added to the Torah. Canaanite influence coming out from Babylon. When our people came out of Babylon after the 70-year captivity, we came out with a refurbished Torah. That's 2nd Ezra 14 and 21. The Torah had been burnt. All right, so Ezra was the one whom unction came upon. He spoke, and guess what? His scribes wrote. But I'm going to hit you with something. You ain't even got that. That was 204 books. Torah you had today is only 5. You ain't even got what Ezra put down. That's a whole nother topic. I mean, if you look at the number of books that were supposed to be published to all or published to the public, that's 134 books. Ezra was told to hide 70 books of the Torah and hide them only for the wise. But for the open public, for the layman, guess what? That's supposed to be 134 books of the Torah. Where they at? You only got 5 books of Torah, and if you bring the whole Old Testament, what is it? 30-something books? Or 24 books, something like that? What are we talking about? Yes, they came out of Babylon. Our forefathers came out of Babylon with a refurbished Torah, something that was the work of Babylon. It was a Babylonian and Canaanite influence in it. This Torah, which contained no ordinances about sacrifices, did contain instructions that men should execute justice toward one another. They should not oppress the alien or the stranger, the fatherless and the widow, or shed innocent blood, or worship other gods. It did include laws against stabbing, murder, adultery, swearing falsely, and burning incense to who? Baal. Baal. All right. So again, y'all, that's the book right there. Moses and the original Torah. I wanted to bring that out so y'all can see. You understand? We ain't making none of this stuff up. We ain't making none of this stuff up. If you get some understanding so far, give me a Yahoo up in the chat. Bless up, bless up. Canaanite influence, Babylonian influence, refurbished Torahs. Moses never wrote it. And a part of the original instructions of Creator. That's why these scenes are so important, because they held those original instructions while the rest of Israel went into ignorantly thinking they're worshiping the Creator under the influence of Baal. That's Baal worship. It's Baal. Baal, Molech, Satan. You see? See, nobody gives you they think it's all chronological. Yeah, look, even the scholars will tell you Genesis is not the oldest book in the Bible. Job is. How the first book of the Bible ain't the oldest book in the Bible? What are you talking about? Historically speaking. You see what I'm saying? Historically speaking. It's crazy, man. We love to fat mouth about certain things. You dig? But when you get into the compiling of it, then you'll start seeing things from a different perspective. You understand? If you got the spirit of truth, you know how to navigate. You know if something don't sound right with your spirit, don't deal with it. You got every right to look. This is your journey. You progress at your own pace. You got every right to be like, "No, I ain't ready for that," or "I'm not dealing with that." All right. It may never be your time to deal with that, or it may just not be your time. All right. But yes, you understand the original Torah was never about torture, slaughtering, sacrifices, none of that. None of that. And again, that's Moses and the original Torah. By Hillel Silver. Okay, I don't even think it's $10 on Amazon. All right, written in the 1960s by a Jewish Zionist. Well, I don't know if he's a Zionist, but he definitely was a Jewish man. All right, and everything that we, every conclusion that we came across, you understand? I'm like, dang, dude came across it too. You dig? Well over 50 years ago. What you mad at us for? You understand? Shout out to my MINISTRIES lives. I put that bloody meat down. That's what's up, bro, man. Salute, bro. Believe that. I've been meaning to get back with you too, YAH'KI. I just been real busy, man. I've been running around getting things done. You understand? Shout out to my SHALOM. He said, next question, how they get into the scripture. Excellent question. Excellent question. All right. Now watch this. I'm glad you asked that question. You see? And then none of that was even staged or planned. Show y'all something real quick. Show y'all how Creator get down and move. Trip off with SHALOM just asked me, right? And trip off what I got pulled up. I already got it pulled up. Look at this. Wow, somebody finna be mad. Look, shout out to all the haters, jaw jackers, and Nate says, you know we love you. You already know we love you. Oh, where you going? Where you going? Come on back. Come on back. I'm tripping. Right there. All right, hold on. I want to show the which color. And show the sideboard for me. I don't know why it didn't like that. All right. All right. I'm glad you asked that, brother. All right. This right here is Nazarene Acts of the Apostles. All right. Clement of Rome followed Peter around. This is the whole plot of it. Clement of Rome followed Peter around at the behest of James the Just and recorded all of Peter's battles with a guy named Simon Magus. All right. Who was totally against the light of the Creator, totally against the teachings of Yahshua. And Peter, you know, ran down on him everywhere he went. All right. And what Peter was letting our people know is how demons get control over your mind. And one of the things he always talked about was the animal flesh. And he told them about, you know, staying away from the animal flesh and all that. They changed up their diets. Then he would pray for them. The whole multitude would be healed. You understand? But Peter's teachings, right? Peter's under no illusion that the written Torah of his day, which would have been based off not the Masoretic text that you have in your KJV, but which would have been based on the Septuagint, because all this happened before the first century. All right, he let it be known as a corruption. It's a corrupted text. It's a corrupted text. You see, and these are Peter's words, or Kepha, Shimon Kepha, Simon Peter, a disciple of Yahshua. In here, he's teaching what Yahshua taught him. All right. And it was well understood by the Nazarenes and the Essenes that the written Torah was corrupted. All right. So if you check the history, this is a 2,000-year-old document. Look at this. For the scriptures have joined, and this is Peter talking, for the scriptures have joined to themselves. Hold on. For the scriptures have joined to them many falsehoods against Creator on this account. For the scripture have joined to them many falsehoods against Creator on this account. The prophet Moses, by the order of the Creator, delivered the Torah with the explanations to 70 chosen men, in order that they also might instruct such of the people as they chose. After some time, the written Torah had added to it certain falsehoods, contrary to the Torah of the Most High. You see that? So this 2,000-year-old document is agreeing with the book that we just went over. This Nazarene literature. That's agreeing with the book that we just went over that was written in the 1960s. The Nazarene literature, 2,000 years old. And Peter is saying, and remember, he's a student of Messiah. So this means Messiah taught him this. All right. After some time, the written Torah, what you have today, what you do your Torah portions over, had added to it certain falsehoods, contrary to the Torah of the Creator. So there's a difference between the written Torah that you have, the Torah of the scribes, and the Torah of Creator. If you understand that, give me a 9 up in the chat. There is a difference. The Masoretic text, the written Torah, the Torah portions and all that, there is a difference between that and what Yahshua HaMashiach taught. He taught the light. All right? He taught the light. All right? And this would explain why the scribes were his enemies. When you go in there, there's always the scribes there with the Pharisees. Because the scribes are the one who have been given the authority to do what? To write down the scriptures. And here comes Messiah teaching against what they wrote. It's real easy to understand. After some time, the written Torah, which you have today, had added to it certain falsehoods contrary to the Torah of Elohim or the Torah of Creator. So that means that what you have today is different from the original instruction or the light. All right. Who made the heaven and the earth and all things in them? The evil one. Hold on. Who's the evil one? The evil one having dared to work this for his evil purpose. So what you mean there ain't no false gods in your Bible? Yes, it is, boy. There's false gods fronting like they the creator. And unless you know the character of creator, guess what? You're being played like a fiddle. And we go so hard at the false deities and gods because we don't want you brothers to suffer in these hells and knots that await you. Because their kingdoms will fall. Believe that. Believe that. All right. Everything and everyone that goes against creator always got to double back and come holler at him. All right. He ain't chasing nothing. Look at this. This took place in reason. Look, so Peter's saying the evil one or Satan had this done. Now, what is the methodology? What is the method? How would Satan get this done? How? Did he appear out of nowhere with red pantyhose and a pitchfork, smoking on a joint, and wrote this in your scriptures? Or did he inspire false scribes? Huh? To insert it, guess what? False scripture, false laws, false history, false character of the creator into the scriptures. And therefore you worship a devil or Satan unknowingly. The evil one having dared to work this for his evil purpose. This took place in reason and judgment, that those might be convicted who should dare listen. That those might be convicted who should dare listen to the things written against the Most High. And those who through love towards him should not only disbelieve the things spoken against him, but should not even endure to hear them at all, even if they should happen to be true. Judging it much safer to incur danger with respect to religious faith to live with an evil mind than to live with an evil mind on account of blasphemous word. They say, look, even if it is true, I'd rather be judged on the fact that I believed it wasn't and knew it wasn't. You understand? Than to live 1 second with an evil mind or a conscience toward my creator. You see that? We cooking. Y'all not here to hear us exchange fancy and smooth soliloquies. Y'all here to see us sweat, right? Y'all here to see us work. So we gonna work. All right, we gonna work. Which one is this? All right, I went down one. We here to work. All right, bang, bang, bang. How come that one ain't coming up? There we go. Y'all forgive me. Okay, that's that one. Over. Okay, right here. I knew I wasn't tripping. Bottom of page 272. You got to have a right knowledge, a right belief of Creator, the Most High. Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yahuwah. Whatever you quibbling and fighting over, it concerns me none. All right? It means nothing if your belief or your knowledge of Creator is off. Like you can even have the name, be pronouncing the name and all that, but still have an evil mindset or belief of the Creator. And therefore, you knowing the name means nothing. Because all your worship is ignorantly, and all your power and spirit is ignorantly going to a false God or deity. Because what you believe about Creator is not his characteristic. It's not his character. So right notions of the Most High essential to holiness. It's very, very important that you know the character of the Most High. Yes, it is. Of the Creator. Yes, it is. Look at it. What I am going to tell you will be sufficient by way of example. But I do not think, my dear Clement, that anyone who possesses ever so little love to the Most High and unaccustomed to learning will be able to take in or even to hear the things that are spoken against him. He like those who really love the Creator ain't gonna fall for the, ain't gonna fall for the millie mouthing. Ain't gonna fall for you putting a free case on the Most High. Nah, you're not about to put the attributes and the traits of the false deities and gods and say, okay, that's the Most High right there. No, we're not about to pull an Aaron in the wilderness. These be your God that took you up out of Egypt. And he was pointing at a calf. This be the Lord. This be Yahweh right here. Stop it. All right. Let's jump on over. Let's show you. We go into how Elohim, or how the Creator, the Most High, is to be thought of. Right? Peter was speaking about a single Most High, not gods. And if you read back further, even his enemy acknowledged it. He say, who you worship, you call the Creator. You dig? So this is just a translation we read. I know we see Elohim, and we all know what Elohim mean, but this is a 1997 edition of, something that was 2,000 years old. Look at this. Wherefore, Clement, my son, beware of thinking otherwise of the Most High than that he is the only Most High or Creator, Master and Father, good and righteous. The who? The Creator. The Creator, long-suffering, merciful, the Sustainer, the Benefactor, ordaining love of many, counseling purity, immortal and making immortal, incomparable, dwelling in the souls of the good, who cannot be contained and yet is contained within the heart, who has fixed the great world as a center in space, who has spread out the skies and solidified the land, who has stored up the water, who has disposed the stars in the sky, who has made the fountains flow in the earth, has produced faults, has raised up mountains, has set bounds to the sea, has ordered winds and blasts, who by the spirit of counsel has kept safely the body, comprehended in a boundless sea. Y'all hear this? See, so you can't think of the Creator as come down and let us see what's going on. Or the Most High could do everything except drive out the Canaanites, for they had chariots of iron. Now, if the Creator knows all, it's all in all, and sees everything, what do you mean, come and let? Then the Lord said, come and let us go down and see whether the things we hear be true. That means he don't have his eyes in every place. Or that he could do some things but can't do others. Well, that means he's not all-powerful, omnipotent. You see? Or that he ordains and won't sacrifices. Well, that means bloodthirsty. You see what I'm saying? You have to understand the character of Creator as taught by those who the Creator put his light on. Right? During the first century and a little bit before that, in the locality around Israel, the Essenes and Nazarenes had that. And then we read Nazarene Essene literature right here. We're going to jump on down, though. All right? We're going to jump on down to page 290. Because everybody think we playing. All right? We reading this, and it's saying the same exact thing. It's saying the same exact thing Same exact thing that that book said we just read. All right. Right here. Page 291. Look at this. All right. Homilies 3, chapter, what is that? 44. Created decrees. But what does not Moses foretell? But what does not Moses foretell the sins of the people and predict and prophesy their dispersion among the nations? Facts. But if he gave foreknowledge to Moshe, how can it be that he had it not himself? So Peter's saying, like Moses, a prophet of the Most High, had foreknowledge, then how could not the Creator have foreknowledge? How can we ever act as if or believe stories that allude to the fact that he was limited in his knowledge? Or he's walking through the garden asking Adam, where are you? And who told you was naked? Well, that means he doesn't know all. He doesn't have foreknowledge. So how could the prophets have foreknowledge, but not the Creator who inspired the prophets? You understand? Showing you how to navigate through the scriptures. But he has it. And if he has it, as we have also shown, it is an extravagant saying that he reflected. And that he changed his mind. Hold on. What you mean he reflected or repented? Remember it says in Genesis 6 that the Creator of the Most High repented that he made man? Meaning he turned away from the fact that he made man, that he made a mistake, that he reflected. Like if you repent or regret or turn away from the fact that you did something, that means you made a mistake. That means you're not perfect. You're not all knowing. It means he changed his mind and that he went down to see and whatever else of this sort. What things he knew about before they came to pass came about without variance. So it's telling you, like, we gotta go back and reread the stories that we have grown accustomed to. If you understand what we just read, give me an 8 up in the chat, y'all. You know I ain't trying to lose nobody. And y'all, this is not Malachi Maccabee information. Stop it. I didn't make up none of this. But you know what happens? Most of the time, the messengers still get killed. Because what he's speaking jars your spirit. Well, if they don't kill the messenger, don't hate the messenger, hate the message, but the messenger always get clapped, Jack. This is what it is. Put yourself as a spokesman for the truth. Yeah, you make yourself enemies then. You make yourself enemies. You dig? So when the brothers is bringing out, you do good to listen. All right? Bringing out that these sacrifices of Babylonian influence, Canaanite influence, they were never in the original Torah. Right? We read that out of a book. You understand? Then now we in the Nazarene literature that's saying the same exact thing. Now we on sacrifices. Bottom of page 291. But that he is not pleased with sacrifices is shown by this. Those who lusted after flesh were slain as soon as they tasted it and were buried, so that it was called the grave of lusts. Y'all know the story, the Numbers, the 11th chapter. All right, where they was lusting so bad for flesh that quail was rained down out of the heavens. They went and ate it raw, and they ate it till it started coming out their nostrils. And while they was chewing on loin meat, you understand? They were bodied, they were put down. And you always got to ask yourself this too. Hold on, they had, according to the biblical narrative, they had cattle. What do you mean they're lusting for flesh? You got cattle, kill your cattle. You just killed all them lambs. Right? To tell you in the Exodus, the 12th chapter, that you went into the wilderness with your cattle. And this is after the slaying of the lambs. So you had flesh there. Why you ain't just kill your cattle? If it's meant for you to be chewing on your flock, why didn't they just kill the flock that they had because they were hungry? Right? If it's meant for you to be chewing on loin meat and animal sandwiches and pig ear sandwiches and you understand, whatever it may be, then why did the Israelites not just slay the flocks that they had in the wilderness with them when they left Egypt? Because they had the flocks. Read Exodus, the 12th chapter. And this is after slaying all the lambs. See, you got to rethink this thing. Slow down. Like, we missed a lot of it. And we assumed a lot of it was cohesive. It's not. You understand? It's not. Look at this. It says right here. He then who at the first was displeased with the slaughtering of animals, not wishing them to be slain, did not ordain sacrifices as desiring them. You hear what Peter's saying about sacrifices? The doctrine that Yahshua taught him? Mosiah never wanted them, never wanted the sacrifices, nor from the beginning did he require them. For neither are sacrifices accomplished without the slaughter of animals, nor can the first fruits be presented. But how is it possible for him to abide in darkness and smoke and storm? Well, this also is written. Who created a pure sky and created the sun to give light to all and assigned the invariable order of their revolutions to innumerable stars. So I'm gonna go back up, but the fact of the matter is there can be no offering or sacrifices without the slaughtering of animals or without victims being offered. We're gonna call it what it is, they're victims. And it's telling you that in the beginning or in the original Torah that this was never the case. This is backdated revision made to give and look as if it has Mosaic authority. You see? Wow. Wow. This is serious. This is serious. All right. All right. Now look at this. Look at this. The four now. Hold on. Let me get back over here. All right. Right here. Contempt against the Most High. Contempt. Look at this. Thus the sayings accusatory. Thus the sayings accusatory of the Most High, who made the sky, are both rendered void by the opposite sayings which are alongside of them. So what Peter is saying is the evil things that are written against or about the Creator in the scriptures are rendered false or void by the opposite things that are also in there. And we do best to hold on to the original Torah or the original instruction, which was without sacrifice. That's a later addition and revision. All right. And without the slaughtering of animals, you don't have a sacrifice, nor do you have a cold cut that you own. Nor do you have an animal sandwich that you own. It never was that. All right. It never was. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. So showing you how to distinguish between what is of Creator and what's not, because the false penitent scribes that had their hand in the scriptures. In order for you to understand that, then you have to understand the character of the Creator. We just read right notions of the Most High is essential for holiness, or right knowledge, right belief of your Creator is very important to living a righteous life. You got to understand who you worship. If you don't know his character, you start amalgamating and confusing, and now you bringing in Baal worship and don't even know it, and think that the Creator delights in a chopped off head. That's in Leviticus, the 1st chapter. Chopped off head. Chopped liver. Lamb chitlins. Blood on the altar. Right? Organs yanked out and the fat of the organs scraped off, and that's burned on the altar along with the head, along with the corpse, as a sweet smelling aroma. No sacrifice, no priesthood to officiate at the altar. No even makeshift tabernacle. These are later revisions and additions made to appear as if they are what? Are under Mosaic authority. And if that's not the case, then why are the prophets speaking against what the priests are doing in their day? They're witnesses of it. They heard the squealing of the animals. They smell the blood. And the incense they burn is only to cover up the smell. Look at this. It says right here, thus the sayings accusatory of the Most High, who made the sky, are both rendered void by the opposite sayings which are alongside of them, and are refuted by who? The creation. Refuted by the creation. You really want to know the character of your Creator? Study creation. Study this earth, study them heavens. You understand? Study yourself. Study your anatomy, right? Study the animals, study creation. Study nature, right? It'll blow your mind. That's the Creator's sanctuary right there. Other than that, his sanctuary is right here in your mind. Right? Ain't no priest officiating no altars. All that's spiritual. You understand? Oh, wait. Look at this. It was not a prophetic hand that wrote them. Right? If it's refuted by creation and if it's accusatory of the Creator and it's rendered void as false, because there are opposite sayings that say the Creator is omnipotent, the all in all, that always was, is, and never shall be. And then here come these sayings saying, let us go down and see what we hear is correct. Adam, where you at? Who told you was naked? Oh, the Most High could do all things, but then couldn't deliver or remove the Canaanites out the land because they had chariots of iron. What are we talking about? All that's false. Right? Chopped off heads, chopped liver, blood on altar, blood in the dust, organs and fat on the altar. All that's false. It's added later. Backdated, made to appear as if it has Mosaic authority. And to give the priesthood, the sons of Aaron, can you understand, an upper hand and control over who? The nation of Israel. All right. Now in the New Testament, the priest, the political priests or the political body that they had was the Sadducees or the sons of Zadok in the New Testament. Acts chapter 5, the Sadducees or them Sadducees, them sad ones you see, guess what? They are kindred to the high priest. Backdrop, there it is. What are we talking about? Those were the Messiah's enemies too. Scribes, the sons of Zadok, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, all of them. The whole get up. All right, so that's how Peter could say, no, that ain't a prophetic hand that wrote that. Because it would line up with creation. It would line up with the teachings the Messiah taught me. That's what he's saying. Look at this. So also they appear opposite to the hand of the Most High who made all things. Then said Simon, this is his enemy. How can you show this? How are you just navigating through these scriptures? Peter over there like, look, that's false. That's true. Nah, they ain't of the Creator. That's a pen. That's a lying pen of a scribe. That right there is right and exact. Nah, the Torah been corrupted. Nah, that ain't what Moses wrote. And y'all, this is a 2,000-year-old document, and we just read a book from the 1960s that say the same thing. If you get an understanding, give me a 7 up in the chat. Easy work. All right, we do's this. Uh-oh, big homie in the chat. NehemiYAH, big homie in the chat. That's the clubhouse bully right there, big homie. NehemiYAH, my brother, bless up, King. Good to see you early today. Abundant blessings to your family, YAH'KI. You already know. Well, me and that brother have been through some wars together, boy. Boy, and the Creator has always been faithful, brother. You already know. Boy, we need to start filming our life, Nee. Well, we can have a whole documentary out here, man. We can have us a reality, a TV show or something. Boy, me and that brother right there, boy, that's my brethren right there. You got a problem with NehemiYAH, you got a problem with me. Flat out. That's my brother. To the end, my friend, believe that. You already know, boy. I was thinking about some things today. Say, boy, woo! Most High really has delivered, brother. Dig? All right, right here. Foreknowledge of Moses. All right, page 292, Nazarene, Acts of the Apostles, Nazarene scene, literature clip up. You already know. Then said Kepha is Peter. The Torah of the Most High or Creator was given by Moses without writing. Without writing. So your written Torah ain't what Moses wrote. What are you talking about? It's oral before it's ever written down. That's the natural order. Look at a baby. A baby speaks before it can write. That's the natural progression of things. Everything is spoken before it's written. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. We got a problem here. You see this, big homie? We got a problem here. Then said Kepha Peter, the Torah of the Most High was given by Moses without writing to 70 wise men to be handed down so that the government might be carried on by succession. But after that Moses was taken up, it was written by someone, but not by Moses. What are we talking about here? Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. Now, that don't mean there ain't things in the written Torah that, you know, that was in the original. But you have the Torah that you have today is not what Moses wrote. It's not. It's not. But after that Moses was taken up, it was written by someone, but not by Moses. For in the Torah itself, it is written, and Moses died, and they buried him near the house of Phagor. And to this day, no one knows where he is buried. But how can Moses write that Moses died? Exactly. Stop it, man. Moses wrote it, but then it says, and the man Moses was more meek and humble and wise than every man that was upon the face of the earth. How is Moses writing that about himself? That ain't Moses. That's somebody else writing about Moses, who heard about Moses. You understand? Who knew the tradition that was going around, the oral tradition. But Moses was not right, and the man Moses was more humble and meek and wise than all the men that were upon the face of the earth. He wouldn't write that. He would say, I was more meek and humble and wise. Moses ain't about to write, and Moses died. He would have to be alive to do that. How Moses writing about he died? What do you mean? Stop it. I think we all know better than that, man. All right? We got to slow down. You out here looking silly. Out here looking foolish. Claiming we know it all, man. Slow down. 2nd Ezra 14:21. Ezra in the Apocrypha admitted that what Moses wrote was already burnt. They didn't have it. That's Ezra's Bible at the best, and you ain't even got his. At the best, that's Ezra's Bible. But you ain't even got his because he spoke and the scribes wrote out 204 books. And then he was told to publish openly 134 of those books and hide 70 only for the wise. So the public is supposed to have 134 books of Torah. You ain't even got 100 books in your Bible. The entire Bible. 66. Then before the Protestant Reformation was the Apocrypha. So that's 80. Yeah. So getting to how the text was compiled, it'll give you a different perception. It'll give you, a different perception on what it is you see, what it is you believe and know. All right. But we all know, it don't take rocket science. We all know Moses couldn't have written about his death. None of you were right about your death. And Malachi Maccabee died. Stop it. You would have to be alive to write about your death. All right. And whereas in the time after Moses, about 500 years or thereabout, it is found lying in the temple which was built. So after Moses died, you dig, 500 years after that, what was attributed to Moses was found lying about in the temple that Solomon built. And after about 500 years more, it is carried away. It is what? Carried away. What is carried away? The Torah. Look at this. And after about 500 years more, it is carried away and being burnt in the time of Nebuchadnezzar. It is destroyed. What are we talking? No, Moses didn't write what you got. Here you go thinking you speaking the most fancy Hebrew, rolling your reshes, rolling your r's, conjugation of verbs. Huh? Think about it. Torah portions. Here you go. Speaking with so much reference with what you got and reading. Stop it. Believing that Moses wrote it. Stop it. No, he ain't right that. He ain't right that. And the prophets themselves are telling you what was in Moses' original Torah. What the priests and them were doing was against the Creator. And that's what the prophets were speaking about. Cease from doing evil. Who told you to tread my courts with this blood? I delight not in the blood of lambs and goats and bullocks. I'm full of the fat of fed beasts. Who told you to bring this before me? Cease to do evil. And whereas in the time after Moses, about 500 years or thereabout, it is found lying in the temple, which was built, and after about 500 years more, it is carried away and being burnt in the time of Nebuchadnezzar. It is destroyed, and thus being written after Moses and often lost, meaning it get lost on a regular. Even this shows the foreknowledge of Moses, because he, foreseeing its disappearance, did not write it. But those who wrote it, being convicted of ignorance through their not foreseeing its disappearance, were not prophets. Were not prophets. What's written was not written by your people, Israel. I know it's hard to understand. It's an amalgamation of texts. It's Babylonian, it's Sumerian, you dig, it's Egyptian. It's a lot. Canaanite. See, so this message here is revolutionary. You don't go with the status quo. We ain't with the Orthodox. Yeah, I'm an Israelite, but I'm not with the Orthodox. Don't confuse me with the Orthodox. Not at all. We live and operate by the higher law. You understand? That's what we live about. Worship none but the Creator. You understand? And the righteous works done unto others. And we heavy on striving for purity of the flesh, purity of the body. You understand? That's what we about. We follow the teachers that the Creator has put the light on. So yeah, I follow the teachings of YHWH HaMashiach. You better believe it. I follow the original teachings of Moses. You better believe it. Absolutely. Absolutely. But their teachings were against what the sacrificial cult was doing in Jerusalem and Shiloh and wherever else at. What you have in the Bible, all the sacrificial rites and ceremonies are backdated, added after Babylon, because we seeing right here that what Moses never wrote it. It was often burnt. You understand? And the men who wrote it were not the prophets. Attributed to Moses. That's right, YAH'KI. Attributed. You see? Nazarene singing literature is revolutionary. Revolutionary, son. All right, what we got over here? All right. Look at this. I want to show y'all this. Over on page 293. It's a good one. Then says Simon, this is Peter's enemy. All right. Then says Simon, I understand that you speak of your Yahshua. See, Peter started letting it be known. These ain't my teachings. I get them from my master teacher. I get them from my brethren. All right. Peter, Yahshua was a Nazarene, and so was his disciples and apostles. They were Nazarenes. They moved a certain way. All right. They weren't chewing on animal loin meat and animal sandwiches. I understand that you speak of your Yahshua as he of whom the prophecy of the scriptures spoke. So let it be granted that it is so. Tell us then how he taught you to discriminate the scriptures. Simon Magus is challenging Peter, or Simon Peter, in front of everybody. Well, how did Yahshua, the master teacher, teach you to determine or to discern or to discriminate scriptures? How do you tell the difference between what's of Creator and what's not? That's an excellent question, though. And I hope y'all taking notes. I hope you're taking notes. All right, this is Nazarene Acts of the Apostles for anybody that don't know what we're reading out of. All right, Nazarene Acts of the Apostles. All right, this is the Nazarene Acts. This is Peter's journal, or Clement's journal, his documentation of Peter's battles with this guy named Simon Magus. So Simon just asked him, well, how can you tell the difference? What did your master teacher teach you about discerning or discriminating? How do you know what's of Creator and what's not in the Bible? Right? And that's an excellent question. Look at this. Then Kepha, or Peter, he taught that it is the mixture of truth with falsehood. Look at that. Look at that. And all your church fathers knew about the Nazarene Acts. You got to ask yourself, dang, why it ain't in the Bible? Who voted to keep this out? See, it destroys the whole agenda. What was considered canon was anything that agreed with Rome or agreed with the agenda of the current emperor, right? What was considered pseudepigrapha or heresy or apocryphal You understand? Was anything that did not go along with the agenda. So you got the quote unquote church telling you about your history, telling you what's canon, what's authorized, and what's not. And here we go arguing over the Bible. You don't even know the bloodshed. You don't even know when it was compiled, who ordered the compiling, who removed it, how much has been edited, how many ecumenical councils it's been. You don't even know. You don't even know. And you never ask. And if you knew these things and searched these things out, then guess what? It'll change your perspective about, oh, okay. And it's good because you wouldn't be out here being played like a fiddle by the false gods and deities who have crept themselves into the scriptures, fronting like they are the creator through the false pen of the scribes. Peter said 2,000 years ago that the Messiah taught the disciples or the apostles that the written Torah that the nation had is the mixture of truth with falsehood. I remember that on one occasion. He finding fault with the sad ones you see, the Sadducees, the Sadducees, said, so you are in error, not knowing the true things of the scriptures. It's Matthew 22. You error not knowing the things of the scripture or the power of Elohim or the power of God. Right? You error, not knowing the true things of the scripture, and on this account, you are ignorant of the power of the Most High. But if he laid it on them that they knew not the true things of the scriptures, it is obvious that there are false things in them. Rightly dividing the word, well, that means it can be what? Divided wrongly. The Messiah told them, you error not knowing the scriptures nor the power of the creator. Well, he dealing with the Zadok priests, the Sadducees. Of course they know what's written in the scriptures. You understand? Of course they know what's written in the scriptures. But Messiah, when he says you error not knowing the scriptures in Matthew 22, he's talking about the true things in the scriptures. Because who he was talking to were learned men in the scriptures. You see? So if he told them they error, or he was alluding to the error in knowledge that they have was based off their ignorance of the truth concerning the scripture, then guess what? There must be false things in them. There must be things that are not true. You understand that? Give me a 7 up in the chat. We're not making it up. We ain't making it up. All right. Messiah taught that the written Torah that you have, that they had then, and let alone today, which is the Masoretic. See, they had the Septuagint then. But the Masoretic today, which came around the 10th century of the Common Era, it ain't even 1,000 years old. When it was codified and put in the chapters and verses and all that, that's not even 1,000 years old. So the written scripture that they had then, the Messiah taught that it was a mixture of truth and falsehood. And y'all, deep down, we always knew that. It's certain things you read that just don't sit well with you. Like, nah, that just don't sit right. Here come the bruh, you know what I mean? Get out your feelings. Get out your feelings. You understand? God told you to kill your child. You better kill your child. Man, look, you better get, look, I'm gonna say what you're afraid to say. Hell to the no, I'm not killing my child or any child. In the name of God. Or in the name of anybody, living or dead. No, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. You dig? But some people believe you're blaspheming when you say that. You see? And it's a legit question to ask, would you kill children, or would you kill anyone for that fact if the creator told you to? You know how many brews will tell you, yeah, I would. You see? But we ain't mad because we understand, but it's the same inspiration, because I showed some Euro-Gentiles, some Europeans that said the same thing. They said, oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes, I would. Depending on the circumstances, oh, absolutely, I would. Dang. You see this? Now look at this. It says right here. It says right here, but if he laid it on them that they knew not the true things of the scriptures, it is obvious that they are false things in them. And also, inasmuch as he said, be prudent money changers. This is something else that you won't find in your Bible, right? This is oral tradition of the Nazarenes. Messiah taught them to be prudent money changers when going through the scriptures. What does it mean to be a prudent money changer? What is a money changer? A money changer is a banker. And a banker must develop the skill to tell the difference between genuine and authentic currency and counterfeit currency. So what knowledge do we pull out of that? The Messiah taught them, according to Kepha, or according to Peter, that they have to be prudent money changers or wise bankers when they're dealing with the scriptures. They have to develop the skill and understand to tell what's real from what's fraudulent, what's of creator and what's of Satan. You see? So you get that a lot. Well, how you know what's real and what's not? How you look, slow down. We been gave the answer. I went over this last year. We on Nazarene edition part 95 now. I went over this last year. You understand? The answers are all there. They all there. Right? And the creator's revealing more and more. That's why, you understand, I'm forever here. This is the bridge. This is the bridge. We never get to the point to where we say, okay, we've arrived. Our literature tell us don't never settle. You understand? Because the truth is always expanding. The truth is one and is absolute, but that's the creator. There's many levels to the truth, there's many sides to it. You will never see how that man sees. You may be on a different rung of the ladder. All right. He may be at the summit of the mountain. You may be in the valley. How y'all got the same perception? How the hell y'all gonna argue with each other about what he's seeing is wrong and what you're seeing is right? Y'all on two different levels and have two different perceptions. So you got to develop the skill to know what's of creator, all right, and what's not. All right, creator ain't sanctioning no bloodshed, no warfare. You understand? He's the all in all that ever was, present, that always was, is, and never shall be. He's not limited. He's not weak. He's not blind. You understand? He don't make mistakes. None of that. He don't love evil. He ain't ordered the sacrificing of animals, chopped off heads and lamb chitlins. He ain't requiring the offering. He will never tempt you to go kill your child. Whether your child is grown or young, he'll never tempt you to do that. That's a false god that did that to Abraham. But you got to get into further research and studies to find it out. And Abraham stood strong and was like, I'm not about to do that. I was commanded not to kill. It's commanded not to kill. I'm never doing that. You see? It's a lot we got to unlearn and go back to the drawing board with. All right? Got to unlearn all that, man. McCready ain't with none of that. And then they give you a peaceful disposition about life and death. And death. You understand? Come on into this marvelous light. You'll never see things the same. And that pressure, you understand? That pressure, like if I make a mistake and mess up, my nuts going to be roasting for eternity and all that's out the window. All that's out the window. You understand? Stay in motion. Give it your all. All right? Right your wrongs. What you spill, you got to clean it up. Every tub got to sit on its own bottom. All right? Now look at this. It says right here. Bang. It is because, about this, and also inasmuch as he said, be prudent money changers. It is because there are genuine and spurious words. So there are true and false words in the Torah. And so he said, how do you not perceive that which is reasonable in the scriptures? He makes the understanding of him stronger, who voluntarily judges soundly. See, you are called on to judge soundly. Judge within yourself if what you read is true or not. See how the onus or the accountability is on you. It's all on you. You understand? It's all on you. And it's all about the righteous work that you do unto others in worship of the Creator, the Most High. So the worship of the Most High is all about being selfless. It's totally about others, being detached from all this. All right, raising up those who are in darkness. It's service, right? It ain't about self. Self is Satan. That's ego. Right? It's all about others. It's about the brotherhood, which is the brotherhood / sisterhood, which compasses the heavens and the earth. That's what we represent. You understand? That's just what it is. Now look at this. It says right here, and you called on the judge soundly whether what you hearing is true or not. All right. Messiah's teachings concerning Torah. His word to the scribes and teachers, or the morim of the existing scriptures, as to those who knew the true things of the Torah, that then is well known. And also that he said, I am not come to destroy, yet that he appeared to be destroying it, is the part of one intimating that the things which that the things that he destroyed did not belong to the Torah. Bag drop. See, that's the next spot our brothers love to go. And I know I used to teach like that. Matthew 5:17. Think not that I come to destroy the law of the prophets. I came not to destroy, but to fulfill. Until heaven and earth pass away, not one jot or one tittle shall pass from the Torah or the law till all be fulfilled. But see, you not realize he ain't talking about the written Torah. He's talking about the Creator's Torah, the higher law. You see? So Peter's saying, yeah, he taught that, but understand this, whatever did get destroyed wasn't part of the true Torah anyway. What has been destroyed out of the Torah? What are you not required to do? Go back and reread it. You see, there's a gang of stuff in there. Like, dang, he like, look, that ain't the doctrine. That ain't the Creator's light, right? And whatever been destroyed, such as sacrifices and all that, it was never a part of the original Torah anyway. Ooh, wait. Oh, wait, we got a problem here. Y'all see this? We got a problem here. Oh, wait, somebody mad. Somebody mad. Somebody want to hang your brother off the gateway arch. All right. Accordingly, he, knowing the true things of the Torah, said to the Sadducees, or them sad ones you see, them Sadducees, the Zadokites, those are the priests. Accordingly, he, knowing the true things of the Torah, said to the Sadducees, asking on one account Moses permitted to marry 7. Moses gave you commandments according to your hard-heartedness. For from the beginning it was not so. For he who created man at first made him male and female. So he chopped them on the 7 women in one. Like, nah, that ain't what it is. You see, there are things written down attributed to Moses that is the work of a false scribe or many false scribes. And Messiah came with the light of the Creator to set the record straight. This revolutionary talk right here got him murdered. Got him murdered. All right, look at this. Teaching of Mashiach. But to those who think, as the scriptures teach, that the Most High swears, he said, let your yes be yes and your no, no. So all the Torahs that talk about the vows you can take and how you can swear on oath and all that, you did. Leviticus, the 5th chapter, to be precise, about the law about swearing and taking vows and oaths. Messiah spoke against that. That's written. He said, no, look, let it either be a yay or a nay. All right. For what is more than these, anything outside of that, including taking vows and oaths and all that. He say, for what is more than these is of the evil one. It comes forth of the evil one. Who is the evil one? Satan. Nah, over here is a yay or nay. Perform what come out of your mouth. All right. And to those who say that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are dead, he said, Creator is not of the dead, but of the living. And to those who suppose that the Most High tempts, as the scriptures say, like he tempted Abraham to kill Isaac. And to those who suppose that Creator tempts, as the scriptures say, he said the tempter is the evil one. Now we got to go question Genesis 18, where Abraham was tempted or even tested to kill his child. It's a false god. Even the book of Remembrance tell you it was a false god that did that. All right. And Abraham peeped it, and guess what? That angel removed itself, perceiving that Abraham knew the higher law, which is what? Thou shalt not kill, no bloodshed. Folks, I don't like the smell of blood. All right, look at this right here. It says, who also tempted himself, to those who suppose that the Most High does not foreknow. He said, for your heavenly Father knows that you need all things, these things, before you ask him. And to those who believe, as the scriptures say, that he does not see all things. And to those who believe, as the scriptures say, that he does not see all things, he said, pray in secret, and your Father who sees secret things will reward you. So Peter's saying the teachings of Messiah goes against, you understand, a lot of the writings that were in the written Torah of his day. Different instructions. See? Y'all get some understanding. Give me a 6 up in the chat. Bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up. Bless up, bless up, bless up. Right? The Messiah taught. That's the Torah of the creators, not the written Torah. It's what the Messiah taught. You understand? That's all about social justice, loving your neighbor, loving the strangers, yourself, not abhorring the stranger, worship none but the creator, no idols. You understand? Stop chewing on loin meat, animal sandwiches. You understand? Live your life to your highest light or to the voice of the creator by doing righteous work unto others. You should hit the pavement every day, you know, understand, looking for someone to bless and someone to heal. Every day. Ask creator to send them your way. You see? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. We getting some understanding. We cooking now. We cooking now. Oh, wait. And there's more. Let me see. I might cut it right there. Let y'all trip off that for a minute. Let me see. Let y'all trip off that for a minute and then come on back. Let me see. I think I'm gonna stop it right there. Yeah, we could read more, but I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right there. I just wanted to show y'all that, you know, it's out here. Brothers ain't out here jaw jacking. Brothers ain't out here just telling you what we want to hear. You understand? That ain't what it is. We ain't just jaw jacking, talking out the side of our necks. You understand? We actually out here showing, proving, right? So you do good to listen to the brothers that against all odds, and even our sisters, salute the sisters because they be on social media going hard, boy. All right. And y'all fingers ain't broke. You men that want to argue with our sisters, y'all fingers ain't broke. Catch the fade, man. That's all I'm saying. Catch the fade. Man up. Man up. All right, let's do it the old school way, right in front of everybody. Man up. Shoot your shot. All right. Shoot your shot. Look at that. Look at Jerry. Jerry said not only that, but it also says that God doesn't bring us into temptation. Exactly. You understand? What about that righteous anger, Ak? You got to check that. You got to check that. Once you understand creator, don't even get angry. He ain't mad at nothing or no one that go off from him. Even when he brought the flood, it was out of compassion, right? Because it had grown to a spot. It was almost like a cancer. Unless you remove it, it's gonna destroy everything. Creator wasn't angry, man. I've been putting a free case on creator. All right. So check that. I usually use that as a excuse to get mad and stay in that spirit of anger. Man, just be angry and sin not. You can be angry, just don't allow your anger, you understand, to cause you to sin. But what about the scripture say? Anger resteth in the bosom of fools. Anger is destructive. You understand? Creator know who he is. Creator is creator. And everybody that go against him, guess what? Everybody go against him eventually got to come back and holler at him. You understand? They've learned their lesson and now they got to face their judgment. You understand? All that mess you spilled, you got to clean that up, Jack. And a lot of that work is going to take 1,000 years. Yeah. 1,000 years. You understand? So, I mean, you got other, you know, the perception about what happens after death is different. But even, you know, you got to ask yourself about some of that. Every Hebrew didn't believe in the afterlife the same way. Some of the disciples believed in reincarnation. That's John the 9th chapter. Remember they asked, who sinned, him or his parents, that he was born blind? Now I could see them say, I could see they said the parents must have sinned because the child was born blind, based off what the parents was doing, creating this child. That's why the child was born blind. But they threw the child up in there. Like, what could the child have done to be born blind? Or what sin could he have committed to be born blind? Kicking his mama too hard? Or as they say in reincarnation, meaning he lived in a previous life and what he did, you understand, karma, the karmatic debt he had to pay back was being blind. You see that? Either way, that allude to, you know, reincarnation. So they all didn't believe in the same thing. You dig? Then you got the resurrection, physical bodies out the grave. But then you had the Sadducees and them who didn't believe in angels, nor spirits, nor resurrection. The Pharisees, they did, but believed it a different way than Yahshua. You dig? So everybody didn't perceive death the same way. Even if you're looking at the lake of fire in Revelation, the 21st, now the 20th chapter. All right, the white throne judgment. Whoever is not found written in this book is cast headlong into the lake of fire, prepared for the false prophet and the beast, and You know, all those who follow the devil and all that. And then you go right over to Revelation 21, the New Jerusalem come down, and they're all type of people who are outside the kingdom. You dig? But they ain't in the lake of fire. You dig? So that's right there questionable. Like, hold on, I thought everybody who wasn't written in the book of life is thrown into the lake of fire. So who are these? Who are these people that are in darkness outside the gates of the New Jerusalem? The dogs and the murderers and the sorcerers and whoever loveth and maketh a lie. Dog, they supposed to be in the lake of fire. They supposed to be in the lake of fire. See that? So certain things you gotta question. You gotta ask yourself, does it make sense? You understand? But your best bet is to again, later for the idolatry, worship none but the Creator by doing righteous work unto who? Righteous work unto others, His creation. That's it. That's it. And in that, knowing you doing that, guess what? You raising in grade. You understand? That takes all that up off you. Most of us are good people at heart, man. You understand? No, we don't see things the same way. No, you ain't finna fulfill that Torah down to the letter. You're not. You're not. You understand? But we have done things that we are ashamed of in life. You understand? And if you ain't paid for it yet, you will pay for it. Believe that. But it's all good. You understand? You got to go through that. You got to clean up what you messed up. You understand? Then you rise. Then you rise. In my Father's house of many mansions. That's not talking about just one locality here on this earth. You're talking about the cosmos, man. You understand? You know how large the heavens are? Ask any astrophysicist. The heavens are expanded. That means the Creator's still creating. It's constantly growing. It's in motion. See that? You see? So focus on the righteous work done unto others and removing the worship and the idolatry, dealing with none but the Most High or the Creator. You dig? And work on, you understand, the purity of body, because guess what? Your body is the Creator's temple. You dig? All right? Don't stop making it a graveyard. Right? Animal flesh poisons the blood. It charges the blood and gives it a negative, not a negative, but a positive charge, if I believe. Right? Not a negative, not an alkaline charge, but an acidic charge. It poisons the blood. And that which charges the blood charges the spirit. You understand? So the Nazarene is saying literature, the OSP as well. It's all about, you understand, health. That's even in our commandments. You ain't even supposed to be marrying where health and love ain't. You're not supposed to be dealing with nothing that brings disorder to your health and senses. You know what I mean? Straight up. You understand? So yeah, your diet or your living, you understand, has everything to do with spiritual progression. It does, because these physical bodies or abodes is actually the temple of the Creator. Eliminate that flesh and dairy. You understand? And you look, you're gonna be amazed at how good you feel. How young you feel. I bumped into a childhood partner of mine earlier. You dig? He a good bro and all that, but I ain't seen him. I ain't seen him in like 20 years. I bumped into him earlier. And you know, I'm 40. So me and him the same age. We graduated the same year, right? So we 40. He pulled up looking like an old man, gray everywhere. You dig? Ain't nothing wrong with the grays. I'm saying, but you know, you can tell when somebody vigorous in their face and youthful in their face and all that. Yeah, that boy turned that corner, boy. Looking like an old man. I rolled the window down like, boy, you look old. You driving like you old, boy. He's like, man, it's been like 22 years and we graduated. I said, man, I still feel young. I still feel young, man. Feel young, feel good, feel marvelous. Feel marvelous, Jack. You dig? I don't feel old and decrepit. You see what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be feeling like that. You're supposed to still, you 40 years old, you still got your youth. You see? So all praises, glory, now to the Most High. All right, forever live the teachings of the Messiah in our hearts and minds. You brothers and sisters, bless up, clip up. You understand? The video we played earlier, Hillel II and the Saturday Sabbath deception. That's a good one. Let me put that link in the chat for y'all. And other than that, I'm about to get up out of here. All right, take care of some business. Let's see this right about. Let's see. Throw this up in this deal for y'all. Check this link out right here. Check this link out. All All right. Yeah, I wanted to come on and show that a lot of people think we were playing. We're not playing. We ain't making none of this up. We just connected something that was written in 1960 by a Jewish man. Moses and the original Torah, the real character of Moses, and the essential message of the Torah. Nazarene edition, part 95. Moses and the universal Torah of light. Right? And it proves you under the creator and the vibration of his angels when you're moving like that. Righteous work done unto others. Know that's what you being graded over. Right? Service. Right? Putting off self. Not being selfish. Being selfless. Right? Even to those you don't know. See that? So we took a book that was written in the 1960s and lined it up. With the Nazarene Acts of the Apostles that was written 2,000 years ago. You understand? And it rocked. You understand? It was cohesive, saying the same thing. Moses ain't write that. All right? Prophet didn't write that. You know what I mean? Yeah, righteous anger. Yeah, no doubt. I understand. I was just saying in real time, we got to watch that. Because a lot of brothers claim righteous anger and be off, way off. All right, the best thing is to agree not to be in the spirit of anger at all. All right, every emotion that you entertain, you agree to that. Whether it's an emotion of love, joy, peace, you agree to be in that type of spirit. Whether it's anger, rebellion, warfare, you agree to be in those type of vibrations. All right, anger resteth in the bosom of fools. So you got to be careful with that. You understand? I don't mean you're going to be happy about everything that happened. I mean, you're natural. You're a man. You know what I mean? Some of our people on here will drive you, will take you there where you get angry and you get mad. That's natural. But as you grow and spiritually progress, you learn to master that emotion when they come knocking. Now, I agree not to be angry. Sometimes you got to talk to them suckers. Because them unclean spirits ain't nothing but people or persons without bodies. That's it. They're unclean spirits. They're persons. They were one-time mortals who lived. Spirits of the dead. That's all an angel is. And either the angel is in service to the creator and it's going to inspire you to do what's right. It's not hard to tell. Just trip off the fruit that it will bear. Trip off the character of it. Right? And the angel or spirit that's not in league with the creator going to come promoting self, destruction, war, bloodshed. You understand? All about your aggrandizement, your self-aggrandizement, being worshipped and applauded before many. Those now creator always give praises to the creator. Give praise back to the creator, man. Brother, man, excellent. This is all praise to the Most High. I'm your bro. I'm ready. We on this journey together for as I'm concerned. I'm not looking for no followers. I'm not one of y'all fearless leader, ever. I don't learn what you bound to on earth. You bound to when you cross over. I'm just your brother. I gracefully bow out. But if y'all remember, I ain't never took no title like a moray and that. People used to try to call me that rabbi, moray. I don't even like being called elder. I'm not no elder. Even according to the Bible, I'm not no elder. I'm not 50. Give me no elder status. I always rejected the titles. Always did. You know, so just don't sit right with me. You're calling me for a boy. Hope you ain't behind me when I fought downwind. You ain't gonna be calling me elder too much longer. You like, boy, I fought the other way, but you know what I'm saying? I'm a man just like you, got the same problems and all that. You dig? My faith in creator is unwavering. Yours should be too. And if it's like that and it's not like that, we as your brothers and sisters, the brother/sisterhood is here to raise you up. You understand? To help you, to assist you. We here with you. We here with you. You know what I mean? We ain't here to, and on top of that, for the sisters, we ain't here to put you in bondage either. We're here to set you free. Raise up. Raise up. You understand? Raise up. Raise up. A lot of them teachings are Western, backwards vibrational thinking, subjugating you, woman, putting her in bondage. You understand? Nah, bro, this thing supposed to move like a well-oiled machine. That's it. I used to see that, years ago. Sisters be, call, oh, my king, my lord. And really don't mean it. Hate the man guts. He's sitting up in front of all us getting off because this woman call him king and lord and daddy. You dig? Meanwhile, it was never real. It was never real. You dig? So you gotta, let it be genuine. I don't need to be called none of that. I'm good. You understand? Just be genuine with it. Be genuine with it. You understand? Be sincere. I'm gonna have your best interest in heart and in mind. You dig? And that's for anybody that, you understand, I've developed a relationship with, friendship with. You understand? I'm gonna be sincere in what I'm talking about. You understand? Keep it 100 with me. 99 ain't good enough. You got to be all the way solid. Because if I'm a friend, I'm a friend all the way through. You understand? I'm a friend all the way through. I know good enough to know I ain't nothing without the brotherhood / sisterhood. I ain't no individuality. Look, you ain't getting into the heavens of many mansions being an individual. That's all about brotherhood and fellowship. You understand? That's just what it is. So much love, y'all. Believe that, know that. Y'all got any questions, you already know that the email is the channel HonorandHumilitySTL @gmail.com. Drop that. Love to come on and fellowship. I love to do that. It's what we do. You understand? And I'm linked with some brothers and sisters now that's about all that. So if anybody got a problem, again, your fingers ain't broke. Your fingers is not broke. You know what I mean? Hey, shoot your shot or set it off or do something. But don't just run your mouth because we're going to call you on that. We're going to call you on that, Jack. As a matter of fact, we setting up a battle of the holy books right now between my brother Cosmo and Cal and another brother named Jerron. All right, that should be Thursday. I think they agreed on it while we was on there. This Thursday on Honor and Humility, either at 7 or 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now we're gonna get the flyers going and then promote it. But them bros ready to get it in. So battle of the holy books is still what it is. Clip up, you understand? Bless up, create a gang. For y'all that don't know, gang is an acronym, y'all. All right, gods and Nirvanian goddesses. You understand? God is nothing but a one-time man who rose to the rank of a god in the heavens. That's it. So when you hear me say peace to the God, I'm not calling none of y'all, or peace to the goddesses. I'm not calling none of y'all the creator. All right. You will have the title. If found worthy, you will have the title of God. You feel me? If you rise up through the ranks and called upon, you may be called upon to rule the heavens and the earth. But you're responsible for every soul that's living and dead. That's a great responsibility to have. You understand? So when you hear us say peace to the God, peace to the goddesses, or what up, Lord? Peace to the Lord. We're not talking about the creator. Okay? The creator is not like God or Lord as you know today. Creator is created. He's separate. How is separate. All right? The gods and goddesses and lords and lordesses and all those that roll with the creator are not worshipped at all. All right? They are simply your big brothers and sisters. You're here to assist you in your resurrection. That's it. That's it. They're never worshiped. They're never bowed to. The false gods are worshiped and bowed to. So if you receive a visitation and one come to you and say you stand before your God, you dig? And he look like Billy D. Williams, or he look like Omar off The Wire. You dig? And your knees get to clapping like a naked newborn, and you start trembling with fear and reverence, and get your kneecaps dusty, and get your head dusty, and your stomach dusty, and get on your stomach if you want to and crawl to that makeshift false god. You cannot see creator. Creator is all in all, ever present, always was, is, and ever shall be. No, Jack. Yeah, God sit on the throne, but God is a son of the creator, and he would never receive your worship nor praise. That goes to the creator. You see how a waspy clears up? You'll never ask that who's speaking right there. I used to get that a lot. But who's speaking right there? Is it the Most High? Is it Yahshua? Is it some angels? Man, look, they all speak in the name of the creator. So it's the creator speaking when you're done talking. That's how we used to try to cover that up. But when you're done talking, yeah, that's confusing. That's a legitimate question. Who's speaking right there? You should know who is who. You You should know the players in the game. You understand? It's real talk, man. It's real easy when you're done talking. All right. But it ain't nothing to get it done, is what I'm saying. It's real easy. And look, I heard people, they claim they got strategies and they studying real hard. You understand? And look, I heard all that. I understand all that. What I'm trying to tell y'all is, look, everybody got a plan till they get hit. You understand? And when spirit hits spirit, all that jaw jacking and, you know, smooth soliloquies and your scholarship, all that go out the window. When spirit hits spirit, game over. And we come on with straight spiritual power to shut down whatever anybody talking. You understand? That's just what it is. That's just what it is. But that don't mean we don't love you. Shout out to all the haters, jaw jackers, and naysayers. We love y'all too. You understand? But you're not going to be able to get around the chopped off heads offered to the Creator. You're not. You're not. You're not going to be able to get around that. You're not going to be able to get off the ringed off heads. You'll be able to get around it. You're going to be able to get around it. You understand? The goat devils and the goat demons are the devils that Israel was offering to. And that goat demon is baffled. You're going to be able to get around that, Jack. Stop it. You're going to be able to get around Amos 5, 25 through 27. Nah, that was Molech and Sheon and all. Your gods you made to yourself. That wasn't created. Back it up with Psalm 95, 8 through 11. You dig? 40 long years was I grieved with this generation. And these are people that have erred and have not known my ways. But who ways is the sacrifice? And if the entire 40 years we was in error. Amos says, what? Was that to me you was offering sacrifices and burnt offerings to in the wilderness 40 years? O house of Israel. Nah, you was offering that to Molech, to Cheon, your God, your store, your tabernacle that you made to yourselves. You did that. You built your bondage. And for that, you're going into captivity. Israel, you always dig your own hole. You always dig your own hell. You always do. It ain't nothing new. Just slow down and read. That wasn't to the Creator. And it names the gods that it was to. Then you go over to Hosea, the 2nd chapter, and he tell you, I'm going to destroy the time has come when I'm going to destroy the names of Baal out of their mouth. And that's a prophecy about something that ain't even happened yet. So that means the nation of Israel to this day has Baal in their mouth, not in name, but in worship. Yeah. Yeah, Canaanite influence. Baal. You understand? So no, they're not going to be able to get around that. You know what I'm saying? So anybody claiming they want to, you understand, debate, look, swim at your own risk. But the heat we come in with, you can't get around because it's in the Bible. And it's too much you're going to have to explain to make it seem as if it's righteous. Just stop it. You know good and well a chopped off goat head is not righteous, Jack. You know good and well a prophet cursing 42 children because they called them bald head. And then 2 she-birds come have the mastery and torment and torture these children. You know good and well that's not right. Just stop it. How you going to get around it? How you going to get around? So you going to, Mosiah say, go kill infants and sucklings. You talking about the babies on that's breastfeeding. What they do to you? Kill everybody. Nah, Jack. Something else is going on. Some of us got sense enough to call it for what it is. Nah, bro, there's something in the water. There's something in the water that's not right. You understand? And even if we didn't bring these things out, they already brought out. They're already in your literature. They're already in your text. These things already published. It ain't going nowhere. Deal with it. Or don't. Or don't. You understand? But if we're going to be adults, if we're going to be righteous adults, then I'm just saying as your bro, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Your thumbs ain't broke. You understand? Jump on in the ring. You did? Say get in touch. Say you want to get it on the battle with the holy books. Let's get it. Let's get it. And let's see what understanding is sharper. And let the nation decide. Let the nation decide. And they got to be based off those who got the ability to go into the book they call sacred or the books they call sacred and give an answer. Give a demonstration. You understand? and then give answers, rapid fire. Bow, bow, bow. Let's see what you know. Let's see what it is. Let's see if you really tried it. You dig? So everybody got a plan till they get hit. So I heard people claim they ready. You know what I mean? But you dig? A lot of them ain't. Bro, say, so how much of the Bible is good? You know, you don't put no percentages on nothing. It's just whatever you read that don't line up with the character of the creator or that don't line up with creation, well, then guess what? You know that's not of the Most High. All right. For instance, I'll give you an example. You got let me see. You got a scripture that says this. You have heard it's been said, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, resist not evil, and whoever strikes you on that cheek, turn the other cheek also, and offer that. Right? So you got the Messiah quoting from what is written, the eye for an eye law, tooth for tooth, foot for foot. You understand? But he gave a different rendering and judgment opposite of what is written. He taught what? Non-resistance. You understand? And he always forewarned us, like, look, if they start persecuting her, get up out of there. Get up out of there. You see? So that's one example of him speaking against what's written. That's one example of him giving a different judgment and a higher understanding than what's written. He's saying, I say don't do that, eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. I'm telling you, don't keep that precept that's written down. Do it this way. I say. See, so now we at a crossroads. You're either going to go with the Torah of Messiah, what he was teaching. What he teaching is the Torah of the Creator. Or you're going to deal with certain things that say, you understand, burning fat and chopping off goat heads is a sweet smelling savor. Or you're going to deal with when the Creator says, I delight not in the blood of bulls or goats or lambs. I delight not in the fat of fed beasts. I delight not in the smell of blood. You at a crossroads. You at a point to where you got to understand the character of Creator to answer your question. The answer to your question is that once you understand the character of the Creator, then you can navigate through them murky waters and see what is of Creator and what's not. I hope I answered your question, Aki. There ain't no percentage or whatever, because you read something in there that say, "Hear Israel, the Creator is one, and you love the Creator with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength." And the second commandment is like this: love your neighbors, you love yourself. Treat others as you want to be treated. That's universal. All right. He said that's the first and second laws, the greatest laws of the Torah. You see, and that's universal. That's been taught in all different localities of the earth. That's universal light. That's the universal Torah. You see, and that's where it starts at. So anything opposite of that, you understand, the warfare, the bloodshed, the slaughtering of infants, the slaughtering of humans, the slaughtering of animals, that ain't of the Creator. The slavery, that ain't of the Creator either. You understand? Kings and queens, and no, we dwell in communities. There may be a chief or bar or a chief priest. You understand? We dwell in communities and all that. All right, as brethren. All right, and share our resources, mobilizing the community. That's how the faithless Nazarenes, the saints, all them brothers, that's how they got down. Different localities of the earth. That's your only protection against a capitalistic construct. You dig? They scared of that though, because of all the different experiences, all the different stories, you know, the things that have gone wrong with communal living. It's a gang of stuff that has gone wrong, but nonetheless, that's still the Creator's blueprint for us to thrive and survive in a capitalistic construct. We come together and share all things in common. There's no rich and no poor like that. All right. Other than that, capitalism keep you in competition. I gotta run faster than you, look better than you, drive a faster car. My woman gotta look better than yours. Everything's about braggadocious rights. Competition. That ain't the kingdom. That's not created. Everything is about being selfless. You understand? That's all it's about. So I hope that helped out. You understand? All praise to the Most High, the Creator, and forever live the teachings of the anointed Messiah in the hearts and minds of all you brothers and sisters. Bless up, clip up. I'm out of here. You did. Pray for me as I continue to pray for y'all. Right on for y'all prayers. Right on for y'all support. We right back up in a couple days, if not tomorrow. Banging. You did. I think it's about to be a blitzkrieg. I feel it. The vortex is heating up, son. The vortex is heating up, son. I think it's a blitzkrieg about to go down. This creator about to be shining all light back to back. Bing, 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 bing. People either gonna have to get down with the light or scatter like roaches when the lights come on, clip up, bless up. Love all y'all indeed in the truth. Yahoo.